Names on games. That's the name of the game. Anyone who's familiar with buying retro games is probably familiar with picking up a game and flipping it over and then, Jesus, now that's not worth anything. There's no better way to claim property as your own than to deface it. We all know that. Back in the day, video games were just less collectible. Nobody thought that they'd be worth anything 30 years down the line. So when a kid got a new video game, he wrote his name on it. So that way, when he's swapping them around at recess and playing his friends' games, he'll know which ones he gets back. Gameboy is an obvious good pick for people writing their names on their games, but the NES makes a bit less sense. I mean, yeah, I guess that you could be, sharing your games with your neighbors or your friends, but it's really less necessary on the console games, I feel. And then also, whoever JP is decided to put 3 black dots on the back of Paperboy for some freaking reason. But I'd like to show you the game that introduced me to names on games. This is my Super Mario Bros. 3. As you can see, Jackie just had to write their name on the front of the label with pen. That's the thing, is that a lot of these games, they use Sharpie, but Jackie was like, nah, get the Bic out. This game in particular is the reason that I'm really fascinated with names on games, because this was actually one of the first NES games that I got. And the person I bought it from was the original owner. I bought this game from Jackie. It gives you a greater connection to the game when you know where it came from, sort of thing. A lot of people, they don't like that. They'll probably try and use alcohol or some sort of thinner to get the names off. And then the ones where it's like right on the paper, as Scott Boaz said,
welcome to Corp Central.
But I happen to actually enjoy names on games. Case in point, this is my copy of Rad Racer. As you can notice, Tiffany decided to very boldly declare what was hers. They had several copies of Rad Racer at the store where I bought this from, and this was the only one that had somebody's name written on it. This is the one that I bought. I just found it funny how big this is. It's overkill. You didn't need to make your name that big. Tiffany, or I guess her parents, tried to go around the label, but then they failed. It's not always names on games. Here's a copy of Turok 2 that actually has a cheat code written on the back. Granted, it's on a label, but, that's pretty cool. Somebody owned this game, somebody knew the cheat code, and then somebody got rid of this game, so I guess they don't care anymore. Neither should I. In a somewhat similar camp is price tags on video games. This one is very, very worn off, and this, I think, was a GameStop sticker. I don't really care about these, but sometimes I'll leave them on just because, they're a pain to get off. And on top of that, it's ice hockey. Do you really care about ice hockey? Sometimes I leave price stickers on games just because I want to know what they were worth when I bought them. Some games become more collectible over time. And in the case of Lester the Unlikely, I can always look back and remember the time I spent $10 more than Lester the Unlikely was worth. Here's an example of a game that got no respect. Here's Pac-Man on Game Boy, definitely not the best way to play Pac-Man because what color are the ghosts? Can I eat this one or not? Ready for the glamour shot? Oh god, that's awful. I can't tell what that original name was. And then it went on to Q? Now it's just CW? I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. Here's an example of a Game Boy Advance game that has a name on it. We can see here that this copy of Bratz Diamonds belonged to JS. And if you're wondering why a grown man owns a copy of Bratz Diamonds, it came with my Game Boy, okay? I'm not proud to own this either. As games got smaller over the years, it just got harder and harder to write your name on them. I mean, sure, in theory you could put your name on the back of a DS game, but I've never actually seen that done before, so I don't know if anybody ever did. DS games were dark gray, which black ink will appear on, and 3DS games were white, so that would also work. But unfortunately, Nintendo Switch games are completely black, and there's no way that you could really write your name on the back of the game without just writing it all over the label. But of course, we know better now. We know that, someday somebody might want this copy of this obsolete port, but for the time being, you couldn't write your name on this. Names on games is something that I really, really like. I will actively purchase a game that has been defaced if I have the choice of this or a clean one. Unfortunately, that option just isn't going to exist for much longer. Physical games as a whole are just disappearing to the internet. And again, Nintendo Switch games, there's nowhere you could realistically put your name on this without, making it completely worthless. This is my last chance. I'm gonna put my name on this game. Let's pretend for a moment that I'm a kid and I just got this dog shit port of an already obsolete game at the time when it came out over a decade ago. Now I need to put my name on this game so that the playground bully can't take it in exchange for my Cheetos or something. So what does Dad do? Dad breaks out the old Sharpie and... No, it's crude. It's barbaric. Look away now, future collectors. Those are my initials. This is my game. It's my name on the game. I made this game worth absolutely no money now. And now someday in the future, somebody can look at this and go, "What the hell were you thinking?"